Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to share a few of the things that I accomplished in the yard yesterday. No, I didn't go out down on my knees pulling out grass or anything like that, but I did do a few pot plants, and I think they're so pretty, some of them. I, I'm not doing a whole lot. Like I said, I'm putting cannas in, pots for the thriller, and then I'm going to use some filler, but I don't necessarily go with the three things all the time. But, or some people go with just way too many, but I just go simple anyway, I'll put it that way. But this zinnia that I potted yesterday, they only had two, and I thought it was just so pretty. It's called Sweet Tooth Cotton Candy. It's a beautiful pink, and I just put it in there with the tall Oroki grass, and that's all that's going to go into that. But a touch of pink magic's what it looks like, and they're letting their colors shine through. They are beautiful, the two. I just know as they grow within a month or so, it will really be pretty in that pot. So let's go out and see what I've done. Come along. Well, sharing pot plants and a few other things along the way. It really looks like a cotton candy, too. This is the peach drift rose. It's one of my favorite, the peach color. It goes from a light peach to a dark peach and then has sort of a golden color. And it's easy to care for. It sort of grows in a mound type shape. This is the pink Gara. It also comes in white. I don't know what other colors it might come in, but I love the white. It is really hard to get around here to find. Uh, it just sort of dances in the wind. It grows just a little bit different, I think, than this pink color. This is a Supertunia Vista. It's jazzberry. It's by Proven Winners. And I only put one to each one of these pots because these are supposed to get really large. These are the Gerber daisies, and I have these in this red color and the lavender color and then a yellow. Uh, they're really easy to grow, and here mine grow about 10 months out of the year, a very rewarding plant. And there's the pink. They're really just so pretty, and they bloom just all the time, it seems like. You can always go and look down in there and see a little bloom coming out. This is a knockout rose, and this one here has got so many buds on the plant, and it's one that I propagated myself. I'll say propagated. All I did was cut it off, stuck my finger in the potting soil, and stuck it down in there. And I've got, oh goodness, about 8 different ones, and they all really bloom a lot. Of course, the knockout does grow probably 10 months out of the year here. This is a picture of the knockout roses out by the lake. This basket here just has an impatient and a petunia in it. This is the Louisiana white iris, and the yellow ones are just about through blooming, and now I have the purple, and I think I still have a blue to open. They're all Louisiana irises. This is the Wandering Jew. I had started outlining a flower bed with that last year and I never did finish, but it is really pretty for a border. The third year for this purple clematis. My liatras are coming up. They're all so pretty. That is a cypress knee sticking up there. I got those at the lake in Marouge where I used to go fish. I just think the cypress knees are pretty worked in with the flowers, the plants, and the beds, uh, like a piece of art. And I think they're beautiful for a background in a picture. Have the flower? I've done several. In fact, I've got some here. I just think it's a pretty piece of art. These peach drift roses are just full of blooms. The pleasures of spring are available to everybody and cost nothing. Such a beautiful world we live in. I'll tell you, the butterflies and the hummingbirds have really loved this petunia. Of course, it's hanging right by the feeders, too, and the hummingbird feeder's right there. And this croton, I babied it all winter. I kept it inside the house. I really think that it has grown about a foot since I bought it. I want to say I got it last year. I may have gotten it the year before. This little flower is called a gazania. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I planted one last year and it is coming up. It's not in bloom. This one here I picked up this year. This is a coral bell. They come in so many different colors and some do change. It's a great pollinator. This is the drift rose. I purchased three of these last week. I'm going to put them in the rose garden, and I call the rose garden where the statue of the lady's at, that I've got the red drift roses around her. But I thought I would just put two of those in pots. The others are in the ground. Next year I may transfer them or put them in another area. That tall rose bush in the back of the statue is a knockout rose. I've really been trying to make those, some of them, into more topiary type form. This is lavender in a pot. This is my bougainvilleas, and I think they're going to bloom this year. Last year they didn't. I thought they were getting enough sun, but they didn't. But they did bloom a soft pink in the garage in the winter months. I love the color of the tea plants. It's just so pretty in the garden, and I do have several of these. I put them in the garage in the winter months. I haven't put anything in with the creeping Jenny yet. A petunia with a potato vine. I'll tell you, the potato vines in a flower bed really gets rid of the grass and weeds too. I love this combination. It's the Droxina plant and the red Bevenia and white, along with some petunias. It's really a pretty combination. Just a little something, the butterflies and the bees. And more of my gardening friends. The bird of paradise. The galvanized bucket has some red zinnias, and I've got creeping Jenny tucked in around it. And this bucket is probably around 100 years old. It's a vintage bucket. It belonged to my friend. And this is my cannas that I put in a pot. I'm doing a good many things like that I mentioned earlier. And then I've got sedum. Of course, you can go in with color if you want to tuck in, but the sedum was put in there, and the autumn joy sedum. And then it will, I think that's the autumn joy. And then it comes back every year. I don't have to redo that pot. And here is just a low container. It really is a surprise when all of this stuff starts coming up and filling up in the pot. I've got a little dove tucked in there. In fact, he's nearly hidden now. Now this pot has a little Dusty Miller tucked in. A little water fountain for the birds. I do have to mention that I'm very proud of my brother and the fact that he has accomplished so much in his life. He was an international blues singer for around 35 years. He had an agent there, and but then to be inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame in Faraday, Louisiana, is an honor. To be in a museum with people like Conway Twitty, Fats Domino, Johnny Horton, Percy Sledge, Jerry Lee Lewis, Jimmy Swaggart, Mickey Gilley. There's just, I think there's 30 in the museum. I think that Doug is the number 30 that has been inducted into the museum down there in Faraday, Louisiana. And I am very proud to call him my brother. Congratulations, Doug, on an incredible achievement. Who would have ever thought that little boy out digging in the ditch in the mud, hunting crawfish, would end up in the Delta Music Hall of Fame in Faraday, Louisiana? A well-deserved honor. So proud to celebrate your day. Love you. Goodness, it's been a busy morning around here. I'm already into another day. I did sleep a little bit last night, though. But anyway, my yard people came today, so I had left the water hose out and the wheelbarrow loaded with twigs and branches setting in the yard. So I had to hurry up and get all of that done. They will move it, and they will put the water hose up if I do leave it out. And I've got a busy weekend coming up. We're going to be going to Natchez, Mississippi to hear my brother and Bad perform, Doug Duffy and Bad. They'll be at the Muddy Blues Inn playing there in Natchez. So it's going to be a fun weekend, and we're going to stop into Faraday, Louisiana to the Louisiana Blues Hall of Fame and check out my brother's memorabilia there, what they've done with his booth or whatever you want to call it, but venue, and then we want to tour a few of the shops. I don't think we're going to be touring the homes. We did when we were there back whenever it was last year. But anyway, it's just going to be a busy, fun weekend, and I have got a lot to do. I've got to get out and water these plants, make sure they survive a couple days without me anyway. But I hope you enjoy this video. I'm just a little old lady that enjoys working in the yard. I love nature. I love my flowers and plants, and it just is something I love to do. And after working for over 45, 48 years, well, I really didn't have time to be in the yard doing things. I pretty well was in my business, my shop, the 6 or 7 days a week. But anyway, I hope you enjoy your time with me, and I'm going to try and get back into my garden, and I can't just run out and buy and plant every week, but share the growth in the yard, in the garden, how things mature and grow. So I hope you enjoy this video and watch for my next one. Thank you.